absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of October 10th, where this week I actually like the energy because I feel like we've got a couple nice oppositions that bring us into a space that like call us back to ourselves. And it's like, okay, I have to remember that I am valuable, I am beauty, I am worthy, I am all of the things. There's some callback energies that I think are really important for us to be talking about and to be looking over as we're traveling this week. So I look forward to reviewing those. Mercury will move back into the energy of Libra this week, which means there's more clarity, there's more solutions available, there's more like, oh my God, the marbles are coming back together available for us as well. So we've got a lot in store, actually, if even just talking about those couple aspects of what we have to offer this week. Now, I have to tell you guys, it's so funny because, and you'll have to tell me if this is happening for you as well, but my progressed moon has moved into the energy of Pisces, and as you guys can see behind me, the plant situation has just gone mad. I have rescued plants from Lowe's and Home Depot like all season, and it turns out I'm a real live Taurus and I can get things to grow. So I want to know, anybody out there, what happened for you when your progressed moon moved into Pisces, if you've had the opportunity to experience that. And if you don't know if your progressed moon has moved yet, you can click in the description box down below and snag one of my progressed chart reports and see where your moon is at this particular time. It's absolutely like the most interesting time I've had, and I think I cry about everything right now. So really having an experience over here, my friends. All right, let's jump in here and talk about what is going on. So as we're coming into the week on the 10th, first and foremost, we've got Venus in an opposition to Chiron. So Venus traveling in the Libra energy, Chiron still in the energy of Aries. Now, as these two are opposing each other, it's the me and the we, okay? Venus in Libra is this energy that, first of all, it's in home court advantage, right? It's in domicile. So Venus is very powerful and merely very comfortable over here. And it's an attracting in kind of energy where it's like the we, the people around me, my environments, the things I've heard, I'm attracting in what they say is beautiful. And it can be that kind of energy. And opposing Chiron, where Chiron has been doing some work for us. We have been literally reforming new identities, new perceptions of ourselves, whole new ways to shine ourselves and our individual selves into the world. And now this is opposing what maybe the we have told me is beautiful and valuable for a very long time. And I'm having to use this opposition instead of letting it go further and further and further. Oh my God, I'm not that. Oh my God, they said this, but I'm not that. And letting that opposition get too wide. The way that we can use this opposition is to find the sweet spot. You want to find the sweet spot in the middle of an opposition to allow it to really come to life. You integrate these energies. These planets want to have a conversation. So what does this look like? You remind yourself of your worthiness and remind yourself that in the change and the bringing about of your new identity, your new voice, your new style, your new thinking process, your new heart level that has exposed itself, it's okay to share that with people. And if the people who have been a part of your we for a very long time can't accept that, Venus is calling in a different we. It's like, your tribe is coming available, but you have to own who you are, who you really are, and who you're becoming, and then be willing to let that beauty be shined in the we. With your tribe, you have to tell the truth of who you are. Now, one of the other things that I think is really important to remember, it's a very busy time digitally, there's so much noise and information going on, is that remember, it's enticing to be out here with the we, but if you need some time for self-care to just be doing the me, if that's what your new me is calling for, take that person for a rest, okay? Take that identity for a rest, okay? As we continue on and we move into the day, we're going to see the moon move into the energy of Taurus. And what did I say? If you need self-care, do it. And you can stay at home, have a nice meal, tend to your creature comforts while the moon is traveling through the energy of Taurus. And then later in the day, we will see Mercury move back into the energy of Libra. So things are picking up speed. Our clarity is coming online. Mercury being our communication, decision-making, learning, how we disseminate information, how we network with people, right? It's all of this communication energy moving forward into the energy of Libra where it has already been. So we know that first of all, you're still making decisions or having new clarity on old things because Mercury is not out of post-retrograde shadow until the 16th. So it's all old stuff that you're looking at this particular time. Now, something else I want to remind you of is that Mercury brings new information, new perspective, which is fantastic to consider as we're looking at these old things. We're looking at the path of where it's been in the retrograde, okay? It is at the level of Jupiter that we take information and really breathe it in and make it our own, and we channel it into our own philosophies. Mercury is just bringing new information. That's the job there. It's not that it created the new information, it's just bringing you a different perspective. So new perspective is what Mercury's always blowing in. Now, in the energy of Libra, what does it bring a new perspective on? Definitely relationships, partnerships, commitments, balance in your life. Do you need a new perspective on what balance and achievement and harmony looks like in your life? Do you need a different perspective on business? Libra is incredibly business savvy. Is there something in your business life that feels out of whack and you've been going back over it and now you've got a different perspective that you can take with it, right? Whatever it is, Mercury in that Libra balancing place is bringing you a different perspective on some old stuff until the 16th, okay? All right, as we continue traveling on through the week, on Tuesday, it looks like we've got the sun. Yeah, the sun is in a trine to Saturn over here. Okay, sun, Saturn, trine. That trine means they're working easily together. Now, when the sun and Saturn, in my experience, travel together, one of the things that it tends to offer as a place of ease is an easier time creating something. Right? We can like see it and then bring it into reality. Okay? Or you get more clarity on how to crystallize it, because wherever Saturn's at, Saturn is trying to crystallize what it is working on to make it stick, to make it long lasting, okay? Now, think back to June 16th. We had this aspect before. What were you working on at that particular time? Or, were you working on a particular manifestation? Were you starting the beginning of a project? Did you have a desire? You said, I think I want this. And now as these two are in a trine, you kind of have this energy to crystallize it down a little bit further and bring it into reality. This is a fantastic energy for that. Now later in the day, we're going to see Mars and Neptune intensify in this square with one another. Mars is slowed down and getting ready for this retrograde. So it's not moving with its full umph and power like it normally does. Okay, so it does have a little bit less fight against Neptune, who is retrograde. Okay, but Neptune's a little bit more comfortable being in a retrograde fashion than Mars is. So there's still some discomfort to be had here. However, I think a real benefit for us is that Mars is slowing down. So when you're trying to push or you're trying to force, you're kind of going, wait a minute, hold on. That's not working for me, right? And in this particular square, as they're bumping up against each other, what you're going is, I gotta make sure I have all the information. Wait, is this what I think it is? Is what I'm looking at? Is what I'm thinking I'm doing what I'm actually intending to do? Why am I doing that, right? Because what can come up when Neptune gets involved is deception. This is not really what you thought it was. We talked about it last week at the full moon, that you may think, damn it, I have a right to, and then you take some action that was based out of a temporary realization and you've made a permanent decision. Okay, so it really is, I still am like, look around, check out the scene, get a little bit of extra feedback to make sure what you're doing or what you're seeing or what you want to take action on is actually real. Now that caution put in place, I do want to say too, that sometimes a square just gets us moving, right? And I think that Mars and Gemini squaring this Neptune Pisces is kind of this place where it is like, stop worrying so much about it and do something. You are not going to be able to think your way into a new reality. You're going to have to act your way into new thinking and to new reality. Take your body and your hands, and the rest of this will kind of come along. So you have to see what the manifestation and the truth of this is. Have you been over there thinking, feeling, worrying, visioning, trying to manifest till your eyelashes curl something, and you haven't just actually taken the action to get it done? This will be a great place for you to review, and let me know if that's you in the comment section. I'm like that box down there. Can you tell that Mercury is still retrograde? Okay, when we get to Wednesday, we're going to see Mercury come into an opposition with Jupiter. So we've got the smaller mind pulling and getting wider away from the bigger mind. The big picture minus is challenging the smaller picture, okay? Now, in an integration, we want the full picture to come together, right? Jupiter says, I want world peace. Mercury's like, okay, but what's the details of how we're going to get that done? So we have to bring these two, the teammates together. Now, I do think the big mind and the small mind, until you know they're integrated, this is not a great energy for really big decisions. I don't think it is. I think that this opposition has like a chance to kind of run away with us, right? Or make a bigger deal out of something than it really was. Jupiter is still retrograde. Mercury, though forward, is still in retrograde path energy. So I don't think that this is the best day to make big decisions if you can avoid it. But there again, let me ask you, what was going on in your life September 3rd? We got to see some of this energy because, right, we've had a retrograde happening. What was going in your life September 18th? Okay, so when we see a pattern like this, what you can do is kind of track it. When did the initial idea come to your table? Maybe September 3rd. September 18th, did you make some adjustments? You were seeing it a little bit differently. And now, as we're here on October 11th or October 12th, my goodness, as we get here, is there something maybe even coming to culmination because you've got yet again a different perspective or a different opportunity around it? And only you can answer that. All right, what else do we have going on here on Wednesday? We're going to have the moon later in the day slide into the energy of Gemini, so lots of talking. So don't make any big decisions, just talk about them. So that you can like talk it out. The moon in Gemini, right? The moon in air needs to talk it out. We've got to say the things. I got to keep talking until I find the feeling and I find the alignment of what's inside and outside and can bring it out. And a lot of times what happens, and testify to this if you've got an air moon, sometimes we're saying and saying and saying and saying something and we have still not said anything about how we feel because we're trying to find the words to go with that like sankalpa, that reasoning, that deep satisfaction that we're trying to bring out into the world, but we can't quite find the words to go with it. So as we spend this 2.5 days with that moon in Gemini, expect people to be calling you. They want to call and check in. They want to have a chat with you. You want to talk to people. You find yourself wanting to listen to more or different podcasts. Things like that could be coming along for you, but Information Central is helping you get the words across to what it is you're trying to manifest. Okay. When we get to Thursday, late in the day, we're going to see Venus come into a trine with Saturn, and I really like this aspect because I think it helps us take off any kind of rose-colored glasses that we had on, but we're open to it. It's not like, it's not like a Pluto kind of thing where it's being torn from our bare hands and we're not necessarily ready to feel the change. Instead, we embrace the change that's becoming available to us. I want to kick your thought process back to July 13th. What was going on in your life at that time? What commitments were you willing to make and to take on at that time? Saturn wants to commit. So did you say, yes, I will marry you, I will be on the board, I will take on this car loan, what did you agree to commit to at that time? And this is like a nice recommitment where you're like, yeah, I'm still in, and doing it makes me feel like one of the big kids, and I feel myself leveling up. I feel my emotional, my physical, my psychological maturity rising to the surface. I think it's a lovely energy to kind of know thine own self. Now, as we get to the 15th, as we get to Saturday, we're going to see the moon roll into the energy of Cancer. So we've got 2 days of really comfortable lunar. Wow, okay, we've got 2 days where the moon is very comfortable in this lunar position. Now, depending on you and how you naturally express your lunar energies through Saturday and Sunday, the moon in Cancer being in a water energy that feels very deeply, but doesn't always talk about what they're feeling. It's more of I'll just keep it in here, I'll hold it down and ride the wave. That can be something that you're experiencing, and sometimes we have to just be quiet and feel deeply what we are experiencing before we talk about it with people. We have to deeply experience our humanity before we can do something else with it. So as the moon moves into the energy of Cancer, go in, take care of home, right? Like, go home, take care of home, enjoy home, bring these principles of family and home and your ancestors and a good meal and loving some comfort and some cuddles and these kinds of things. Allow this to dominate what's going on for you as you experience these energies throughout the weekend. All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, we have got a busy set of energy that begins to creep in and get stronger and stronger and stronger as we approach not only Scorpio season, which has its very own special, beautiful vibration, but we're also going to have our next eclipse in this particular energy, welcome Mercury into Scorpio, and then before we close out this month, we're going to have one of the ruling planets of that particular lunation step into retrograde, Mars, for the next 7 months of energy that we are going to work with. So the intensity is building. If you feel like the intensity is building out there, remember, where can you surrender to win? Where can you talk it out? Where can you feel it out? Where can you dance it out? Where can you make enough space to grant grace to other people? And I was taught that grace is the slack the universe cuts us for being assholes. So I need a lot of grace. I am not perfect out here. And if you have not managed to perfect humanity either, let's practice giving each other a little grace as we're all moving forward on the intensity bus together. All right, my beautiful friends, I love you a ton, myself and the plants that are vining out with the progressed moon in Pisces. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.